Hello. How's it going, Amy?
I'm super excited, Sam.
I am too, because we are doing the third installment of our Best Books of 2021 series. And this week, we're going to cover some really great territory. So again, it's another 3 lists from Kirkus because they went to town and they gave us 12 separate lists of best picture books. So this week, we will be doing informational picture books, one of my very favorite categories of picture books, I must admit. We will be doing picture books that are all about community, and we will be doing board books. And then we will do a little segment on the books that read brightly, which is a blog that we highly recommend, all about books and reading for kids, their favorite books of 2021. So we will start with informational picture books. Okay, I'm going to start us off with a picture book that is written by Jeff Gottsfeld and illustrated by Matt Tavares. And this is called 21 Steps. And big thumbs up. The illustrations are amazing. I don't know much about the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, and that's what this is all about. And it is fascinating. Big thumbs up.
So my first book was, we should have talked about it last week because it's actually, I think, on the Kirkus bios list, but it reads as informational or bio. So From the Tops of the Trees by Kao Kalia Yang is it's beautiful. The illustrations in this are phenomenal. And it's a great story about living in a refugee camp, which we all need to know right now. So big thumbs up.
Big thumbs up. Totally agree. All right. Next up is a very interesting and different book that I think we both loved. It's called The Snail with the Right Heart, a true story. And this is a story all about biology and genotypes and snails. And you get a really inside look at the world of the snail. Fascinating. Pictures are lovely. I love everything about this book. Big thumbs up.
That is a must read. So
it is a fascinating book. Nobody will be disappointed if they read that one.
Okay, my next book is The Gravity Tree, the true story of a tree that inspired the world, which is about the apple that fell on Newton's head. And I love this. It's all about the actual tree, and the tree is still alive. So read a great book about a tree.
Nice. All right. Okay, my next one, veering away from ones that we love, is a book called 1 Million Oysters on the Top of the Mountain. I don't hate this book or anything. I just don't think it's a best of. I've got some persnickety things with it. I feel like the fonts are really weird and hard to read. I felt like this book changed fonts a lot, and I didn't like that. The illustrations weren't my favorite illustrations. The information in it was great, but the fonts and the layout made it difficult for me to even digest the information well. So I'm going thumbs down on this one.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I'm not even sure I finished it.
Sorry, oysters.
Okay, my next one is Two Brooms on a Cake, which is about the first gay marriage in America and historically fascinating. So you should read this book to learn more about the history of gay marriage in America.
Great pictures too.
Oh,
totally. Okay, this next book is called Without Separation: Prejudice, Segregation, and the Case of Roberto Alvarez. And it's written by Larry Dane Brimner and illustrated by Maya Gonzalez. And this is an excellent, very interesting and engaging story. Now, the pictures are not my favorite. The illustrations I find just sort of in the middle. So I'm going to go thumb sideways, tipping toward up.
Yeah, it's an important story that needs to be known.
It's a great story.
It deserves better illustrations.
I would have liked to have seen Duncan Tonatia do illustrations for that story.
Yeah. Okay, my next one is another sea one, The Strangest Thing in the Sea. And this one is fascinating. It's super well done. I give it 2 thumbs up. So,
yeah, me too. The illustrations.
It's the whole package.
Yeah. Awesome. I'm going to combine my last one will be actually 2, because I feel like these books should be checked out and read together, because they're kind of 2 pieces of a puzzle to me. This book is called Your Legacy, A Bold Reclaiming of Our Enslaved History, and it's by Shelley Williams, and it's illustrated by Tanya Engel. And this is a solid, very interesting, very well written, very nicely illustrated history of the Black experience and here in the United States. This, I would say, is a perfect book for like kindergarten through second grade, because it's just written at that right level. Now, this book, another really beautiful, solid book about the Black experience in America, the history of the Black experience. This one, however, I do not think would work for kindergarten through second grade because it's deep. It's got a lot of complicated ideas in it. And if you were teaching, Black History Month and you were teaching it to like fourth grade, this I think is something that you could really dive into. Really fascinating, well-written, beautiful illustrations. Higher level though. So if you're a teacher, you're looking for a book for your kindergarten through second grade class, this is fabulous. If you're a teacher looking for a book for your third through fifth grade class, this is fabulous. So some great books on the history of the Black experience. Big thumbs up.
Okay, my final book in this category is Nikki and Vera, A Quiet Hero of the Holocaust and the Children He Rescued. This is one of those books that sends the chills up your spine. It is excellent. So if you're looking for a good book, a positive book about the Holocaust, look no further.
Thumbs up from me too.
Okay, our next category is board books, and Sam and I always have a lot of opinions about board books. My first book I looked at was Hide and Seek, which it's fine, but that's all I have to say about that. It's fine.
I think that's fair. Are you thumbs up or thumbs down on that? Thumb sideways. I go thumb sideways. I'll tip a little up. I thought the illustrations were charming, but it wasn't anything best of to me. It's just sometimes what we're seeing this time around. Okay, my first board book is called Caution, Road Signs Ahead, words by Tony Buzzio, art by Kai Birmingham. And I love this book. My only problem with this, I think it's kind of delicate. I think probably it's going to fall apart sooner than most board books in our library collection because it's got a lot of like sort of stuff that isn't full page and that makes the binding kind of weak. But it's a really fun book for kids who are obsessed with road signs and being in the car and driving around. Big thumbs up. Yeah. Why? If you go thumbs down, if you go the opposite of me, you have to explain why.
I just didn't see the purpose behind that book.
You might have never had a child who was obsessed with road signs.
Very true.
And I may have had a child who was obsessed with road signs, so I totally relate to this book.
Okay. This next book I loved. It's Ollie Feels Fine. And it is a great book introducing different emotions that kiddos and adults can have. So thumbs up.
Big thumbs up for me too. This next book is called Being You, a first conversation about gender. And this prompted a lot of conversations around our desks. I mean, this was a really interesting book to talk about. It really is a very frank and thorough and, for board books, kind of long conversation about gender. But board books are often as much about parents just having a vehicle to talk to their little people about stuff. So I think that it works on that level because when you're talking to a 10-month-old, you're just talking to them. It's sort of a monologue. And so this could be a nice little monologue. It wouldn't work though in some settings, like in kindergarten. This would be a great book content-wise in kindergarten to share with them. But no kindergartner is going to want to have a baby book. And that's what board books are to kindergartners. They're baby books. So I wish this also had a picture book format. I'd like to see it in both formats because I do think it could work in both formats. And being a board book, the audience is very much limited for this book to people who don't feel judged if they're reading a board book. So big thumbs up from me. I just wish it was in a picture book form too.
Yeah, I will go thumb sideways because it's so important, and that book is so well done, and it's disserved by its publisher by not being in picture book as well.
Yeah, and it could easily be both. I mean, why not?
There's certainly a lot of picture books that have been made into books.
Totally. Don't get us started.
Okay, our final book for this category is This Is Still Not a Book.
This is a good one to end on.
Yeah, it's super fun. It's hilarious. The perspective is amazing. And so totally, I think both Sam and I gave it a thumbs up.
Yeah,
there were more books in this category. We could not get our hands on them. So we did what we could.
We did what we could. Actually, only one more. They had Shark Block, which I can say I've seen it. We just don't have it to show you. It would be a big thumbs up. It's adorable and cool and interesting and different. But we can't show it to you. Okay, our next category and the last category for Kirkus books for today is community, which is a nice broad category, covers lots of territories. I'll get us kicked off with a book called The New Friend. This is actually a book that the text was printed in 1968, and these are new illustrations. It was written by Charlotte Zolotow, who we quite love. She's written many an amazing book and illustrated by Benjamin Schode. And I am going to give this a giant thumbs down, and I'm going to read Amy's comment. It should have remained out of print. And I agree, the illustrations are adorable, but the text here and probably why it went out of print is it's depressing.
Okay, my first book in this category, luckily, is positive. The Lost Package is about a package getting delivered to a little kid, and it falls off the mail truck, and the adventure begins. Highly recommend Lost Package.
Big thumbs up too. Lots of fun, good illustrations. My next is a better one than the last one. I really like this book a lot. This is called Dream Street, and it's written by Trisha Elam Walker and Ikua Holmes. And the thing I really love about this, it's really good text. It's really uplifting, but the illustrations are just next level. They're beautiful. They're very vibrant. They really draw you in. They're really engaging. Big thumbs up because of the fabulous illustrations.
Okay, my next book is The Smile Shop by Satoshi Kitamura, and I state the last name because I believe Satoshi translated it himself, and therein lies the problem. The language is extremely formal and stilted and does not flow. So I didn't enjoy the pictures either, so I cannot recommend this book.
Yeah, I go thumbs down too. Like the idea of it, I love, but the execution didn't work.
No.
And now I guess we're hitting a down spot because my next one is not a thumbs up either. This is I Am the Subway by Kim Hyo-eun. And this is another one. I love the idea of this book. It's like all from the perspective of the subway, seeing people rush through doing their different things in their lives. But the execution just doesn't work for me. I don't like the pictures. The text didn't work for me. I mean, maybe it's something lost in translation. That's definitely possible. So I got to go thumbs down on this.
Yeah, I did not enter that, but we're going to end this category, or at least my final book in this category, super positive. It's A Sky Blue Bench, which is about a girl growing up in Pakistan, and her school was destroyed by the war, and there's no furniture, and they're expected to sit on the floor, but she has what kind of leg?
A helper leg.
A helper legs.
That's what she calls it.
She calls it her helper leg, and she can't easily sit on the floor. So she learns carpentry. So positive. And so I highly recommend The Sky Blue Bench. It's lovely on many different levels.
I agree. Big thumbs up. I didn't know what to expect from that book, and I was blown away. It hits on so many different ways. My last one is also a nice, great, positive one, which is a good way to end. This book is called Most Days, and it is by Michael Lena, I think, and Megan Elizabeth Barada. And this just has a fabulous, uplifting message. And these illustrations just are so reminiscent of Harry Bliss, and I love him. I love the illustrations. I love the positive, upbeat message. So big thumbs up. All right, now it is time for our last list of the week. And this one's a doozy. This is Read Brightly. I believe between the two of us, we will be reviewing 17 books. So let's do it. I'm going to get started, and we got to go fast because there's a lot of books. My first book that Read Brightly listed as one of their best of the year is called A New Day, written by Brad Meltzer and illustrated by Dan Santot, one of my all-time favorite illustrators. And Amy's going thumbs down, and me too. And it breaks my heart because I love Dan Santot, but this book is too long. We needed a little more editing in here to tighten this thing up because it is too long.
Okay, my first book is Fatima's Great Outdoors, which I loved the storyline of this family going outside, enjoying camping, removing kind of otherness because we live in a very white-centric world, but everyone can camp and does camp. My only complaint is it's really long. It's really, really long.
So thumb sideways on that one for me too, because it's kind of long. And I have to say, I think that Read Brightly tends, a lot of these are really long. So you might hear that a lot more, audience, but not for this one. This book is called Big Feelings, and it's by Alexandra Penfold and Suzanne Kaufman. And this is not overly long. This is very tightly written. It's beautiful. It's short. It's punchy. It is a good book all about feeling big feelings. Big thumbs up.
Big thumbs up. Okay, Sam and I have very strong opinions about celebrities writing picture books. And usually the opinions are, please don't write picture book celebrities. Last year, this celebrity's first book was also on the Read Brightly list. This is the sequel. And my comment literally is better than the first one, which just says nothing. It's not a good book. So Paul McCartney's Grand Dudes, Green Submarine.
Yeah. And we love Paul McCartney. Big Beatles fan in my house. I own all the albums, but they're not everybody who can write a wonderful song or, act in a movie. They can't all write a picture book. And speaking of that, I have another celebrity book. This one, though, is much better than Paul McCartney's celebrity book. This is by Hilary Duff. I had very low expectations for this book, just because Lizzie McGuire was never my favorite show, and I just didn't expect an actress. They usually celebrity picture books aren't that great. This one's really nothing new. It's all about a love between a mom and a child, and it's sort of like you're my brave little girl. You're gonna do all these things, but it's beautifully illustrated. Mm-hmm. It's got a lot of representation here, which is nice, and it's just a sweet little kind of gentle bedtime story. So thumbs up. Way to go, Hilary Duff.
Yeah. My next book is The Tree in Me. And this one has some of the most beautiful language and illustrations that I saw this year. So much so that I plan on buying this book, and I almost never buy books. So this is a must.
Big thumbs up. Big thumbs up. Nice. Okay, my next one is not really a big thumbs up. This is a book called Different, A Great Thing to Be, by Heather Avis and illustrated by Sarah Mensinga. And, I just didn't feel like this book was all that different. It felt like a lot of books that I've read. It didn't feel like a best of. It's a book that I want to have in my collection, that I think is a good book for people to read. It just didn't strike me as a best of. So I'm going to go thumb sideways in this.
I'll agree. Okay, back into the celebrity land of picture books. Lil Nas X wrote an alphabet book called C is for Country.
Who'd have thought?
I couldn't even tell you a song that he's done, but I will say
Old Town Road. I'm gonna take my horse down the Old Town Road.
Okay, anyway, whoever he is, delightful alphabet book, and that's a double thumbs up, because alphabet books are not my jam, and celebrity picture books are not my jam. So that's a great book.
Yeah, I go thumbs up on that too, because the illustrations were really fun.
Super fun.
It was a fun book. Okay, the next one is an informational picture book called More Than Just a Game, The Black Origins of Basketball by Madison Moore, illustrated by Lonnie Olivier. And I love this. As Aimee knows, I'm a huge NBA fan. I love basketball. I thought the illustrations were awesome, and I was totally hooked. I wanted to find out more. I was hooked from beginning to end. So big thumbs up from me.
Big thumbs up for me. Okay, so the original creator of Uni the Unicorn, Amy Cross Rosenthal, passed away a few years ago, and her daughter Paris has taken up the mantle of writing Uni the Unicorn books. And Uni the Unicorn in the real world was a natural for me, because I love a unicorn, all things unicorn. This one's a big nope, big nope. Paris, I think you've got potential, but maybe write stuff that's original for you instead of carrying on your mom's legacy.
Yeah, thumbs down. Not the worst book in the world, but doesn't warrant a thumbs up. Okay, back to the land of celebrity picture books. Are you ready, Aimee? We are now going to talk about Tomatoes for Neela by Padma Lakshmi. Now, Padma is writing about something that's her area of expertise, because she's a chef and she does Top Chef and stuff like that. And this book, I have to say, the illustrations are amazing. The story is a little too long, which you often see with celebrity books. They just don't sort of know the pacing. They may not have a 3-year-old in their life to test it on. So this sort of suffers from that. But it's lovely, and the pictures are lovely. So I'm going thumbs up on this one.
Okay, my next book is Flashlight Night, which I don't want to spoil it or give it away. It's a delightful, delightful book. Big thumbs up.
Big thumbs up. All right.
Check that one out.
My next book is I got another informational picture book, perhaps because this is one of the things that I love. This is called What's Inside a Flower and Other Questions About Science and Nature. And you can see just from this cover, this is a beautiful book with a lot going on, a lot of information, a lot of beautiful pictures. Big, big thumbs up.
Big, big thumbs up. Sadly, this next one's probably a thumbs down for both of us. It's another celebrity picture book. It's by Tim Tebow. I'm just going to state one sentence. Tim, stick to football.
Thumbs down. Sorry, Tim. How did that make Read Brightly's list? I don't know. So the next one here is called Kalamata's Kitchen. And this is written by Sarah Thomas and illustrated by Joe Cosmides Edwards. And this book is good. It's not a best of. It's fine to look at and it's fine to read. I don't hate it. If you love books about, cooking, or, if you want books about an experience in India, great, awesome. I'm glad this book exists. We're going to have it in our library, but thumb sideways, not a best of for me.
Okay, my last book is delightful because I wanted to end on a positive note. This author lives in Portland, and this is, I believe, the third in his series of problem books, starting with the penguin problem.
Oh.
And now we've moved on to cat problems. And this totally captures catitude. Is if you love a cat, you have a cat in your life that you don't love even, you need to read Cat Problems.
Big thumbs up. Jory John, I mean, there's very little that I've been disappointed with that he has written. He's fabulous. I too wanted to end on a positive note because this is the last book we're reviewing in this whole video. And so I picked my very favorite one to end on. And this is called Change Sings. It's by Amanda Gorman. It's illustrated by Lauren Long. The two things work together. Amanda Gorman's text, she was the poet laureate of the inaugural poet. What's the term? Let's see, I'm going to get it. She was the youngest presidential inaugural poet in U.S. history. And the poem she read at the inauguration was amazing. This is no different. It's beautiful. And the illustrations are amazing. Big thumbs up.
Big. All you elementary school teachers, you need a copy of that in your classroom and you need to read it.
Yes. Maybe every day.
Out loud.
All right. Well, that was our Kirkus number 3 and Read Brightly. Tune in next week for Kirkus number 4. And
it's kind of a combo of NPR and I think New York Times.
And New York Times. Yeah. Okay.
It's like books that they both covered books that were in our other lists. So these are kind of the leftovers that didn't make it into.
So it'll be a smorgasbord of best of.
Yeah.